to the IndyCar Challenge 1989 edition. IndyCar All-Star Race, if you want to think of it that way. Known in real life by another name, which I'm not sure is allowed on YouTube. So we're calling it today the IndyCar Challenge, a non-points all-star race for IndyCar as a part of the 1989 kart season for IndyCar Racing 2. Hope everybody's doing well out there. Welcome back. It's been way too long. I think at the start of every stream, if you play the first minute, it's going to be me talking about how long it's been since the last one. But we're getting there. We're right at the end of the season. We're at Laguna Seca, which ends the season. Hi, Michael, Audio Jack, SVCCR, Rolonzo. So we're at Laguna Seca, and this is a real event. If you didn't know, it's not something I remembered or really knew about up until fairly recently, I guess, or I don't know, 10 years ago or something. But yes, from 1987, I believe, through 92, IndyCar held an all-star race, and it was at the last round of the season or thereabouts. I think it moved. I think there were 3 different tracks it was held on: Laguna Seca, Nazareth a few years, and Tamiami a few other years. And it was the entry of the race itself. I've seen discrepancies describing how it was actually done, much like NASCAR's all-star race. It seemed to change year to year as to who would actually be allowed or a part of the race. And I'll go through how I've chosen this field today, but small set of drivers, short-ish race, actually not that short, kind of an all-out, no points on the line, but all the money in real life. No money today, unfortunately, but I'm treating this as a great practice round, because the last round, if you haven't watched up to this point, the IndyCar season has been going pretty well, but also has gotten quite tight here towards the end. Michael Andretti really coming back up the championship and challenging here. In the final round, it's all up in the air. I mean, I am in the lead. I'm in the lead of the championship, but not by enough to make it a safe race. I got to pretty much beat Michael Andretti. And so today will be kind of a dry run of that. Hopefully, this race itself will be long enough to do a pit stop, and will be good to practice a bit so that when we actually do the real one, I'm just a little bit better off. But no real lap traffic or anything today. So we'll take a quick look at everything and pull up the roster for the 89 IndyCar Challenge. So these are the 10 drivers, just 10 drivers taking part. And in real life, it was 10. And I think I've based this off of exactly how they did it in real life as well. It is any driver that's won a race or scored a pole position throughout the season was eligible. So starting from the rear, Teo Fabi with 2 poles during the season, which I don't even really remember him getting poles, but he's going to be in the race, the last one to get the draw. Mario Andretti got himself in with that win at Toronto. I had to look back to see where he won a race, but he won at Toronto with Newman Haas Racing, so he'll be starting. Then we've got 3 drivers actually included that don't have any poles or wins, but it seemed like they did pad out the grid with the top points finishers as well. So essentially, because we've had nobody outside the top 10 in points actually score a pole or a win, we're looking at just the top 10 in points, honestly, is how this is going to play out. But it's still a good grid. All the drivers that we've been racing with all season, really, and none of the really slow ones, which will make it interesting. But Ari Leyendijk for Dick Simon Racing with the 8th draw. Scott Pruitt with True Sports. Should be True Sports, I think. But 7th. No wins, no poles. He came so close at Indianapolis. Rick Mears, my nemesis this season, especially after Road America, but 4 poles, really rocket Rick there. No wins, though. He's come close a couple times. Danny Sullivan, the highest up, 5th in points currently, but no poles, no wins. He's been quick at a few races. And some of my practice for this event, he's actually been quick as well, so we'll see how he does today. Allenser Jr. went on a little streak in the middle of the season. I think Detroit and Milwaukee, and came away with a few wins, but 0 poles for him, 4th overall. Got Emo up there, 3rd position in points right now. He's got a single win, which is surprising because he's been quick as well. But then, what is that? 4 pole positions. Michael Andretti than my rival in the championship. I didn't realize this as well. I see a couple folks in the chat mentioning it too, but no poles on the season, just wins. 5 wins for him, so the most wins so far this season. He'll be looking to take the fight, of course, just as I am. And then up top, Ryan Axelson, our driver for Sunoco Papyrus Racing. Straight even, 4 poles, 4 wins, and first in points currently. So those are the 10 drivers that'll be taking part in the race today. And the race itself will be 45 laps around Laguna Seca. So it's the same track and everything that we'll be racing on for the final round here. Hopefully tomorrow, actually. We'll jump in. We're going to be doing just a single race today, which feels kind of odd to do, but I've set it up to do 45 laps here. This is the modern layout of Laguna Seca. Hold on, I'll hide the little wheel icon for just a second, so you can see, but it's the layout you're familiar with. However, it is slightly different. This track, I saw him earlier in the chat, it's courtesy of Pavel. Thank you for this one. It's a really nice rendition of the circuit, and something I didn't know, and I don't see referenced many places, Laguna Seca was updated as a circuit, I believe in 1987-88. It used to be more of an oval itself, actually, with the corkscrew and everything, but the whole middle section, I'll call it out when we're racing on it, that was actually added to comply with motorcycle racing. This track obviously is a big one in the bike world, so they added that middle section of the track in 88, I believe, and kart started racing on it. My opinion, I do like the old course. It does also exist in IndyCar too, but I like this version better. I think it's just a little bit more exciting to race on, a little bit more going on. But there's another change to the circuit too, right at the end of the lap. This track's actually a bit shorter than the modern one. They actually extended a couple of the final corners as well. And I don't see much reference to that online anywhere. But I think it was in the mid-90s they stretched out the last couple of corners. So we've got the correct version, I think, for this race today. 45 laps, which is not a short race. And in all honesty, I'll give my quick opinion on this race. It's a cool idea of a race. It's kind of a boring race. If you go back and read the reports about it as well, 10 cars on a road course with only 1 pit stop required. Not a lot of interest there. It's kind of this, I think they wanted it to be a little more NASCAR style beat 'em up. I think the event itself was better suited for something like an oval. So we'll see. Hopefully it ends up being entertaining today, but I have a feeling it might just get stretched out. We've got no lapped cars to pass, so it may be very much like real life was. We'll see. We'll see. I think in real life this one was won by Axelson Jr. over Michael Andretti. Michael Andretti led some laps, and then Axelson Jr. came away with the win. So we'll have to do 1 pit stop today. Let me just load up my whole setup here. Mustache is not new. I've always had a mustache. But yeah, we'll have to pit today, and just back on. You know, it's going to be just a very straightforward. There's no real strategy. I am going to start. I debated starting. And I'm sure some of you in the chat will probably would like this, but I am going to start with full fuel. I'll go out and do some practice laps real quick here. This will be a shorter stream anyway. Got a little bit of extra time today. All right, kill the music. Go out, do a couple practice laps. I'll show you the track before we get into anything serious. Yes, that's correct, Gary. I didn't always have a mustache. We'll go out and do just a couple practice laps, make sure I remember how to drive. But yeah, Laguna Seca, just 10 cars on the track. It'll be a much more busy track, so it's very narrow. Let me know how the sound is, too. It's a very narrow circuit, more narrow than today's circuit. There's some missing curbs where we've got curbs today. A big one here is outside of this corner. I think this would be turn 3, right? There's no curb on the left there, so you just got some dirt. Then the fast flick to the right. We'll come down and head up the hill. So this is where the track rejoins the original layout. If you imagine at turn 1, the track just for a long time went straight on there and then came around to match up with the uphill here Go through the flick to the right or left there. Luckily, there's a curb on the outside of that one. And come up to the famous corkscrew, expertly recreated here. It looks really good. Down to first gear, roll it through. It's easy to spin the car out as it gets light there. Come down the hill, a little bit wide there. All right, come to the end of the lap. This straightaway is a bit longer than it is now. And when we come to the right here, this looks the same, but we're actually a little bit closer to the start-finish line than the modern circuit is. So when we come around the final corner, we're very close. And at first I was thinking, oh, okay, maybe the track model itself is a little bit off. It's still quite good, but it's actually, this was real. I think I saw in the chat, 1996, they extended the final corner there to be a little bit further out. So this is pretty accurate to exactly how the track was for this race. You'll see the pit exit doesn't have the long exit down to the first corner or anything like that. Yeah, it is much closer. At first I was just thinking the track was a little bit wonky, but no, Pavel's done a great job here. So no, I'm sure it'll come up later in the chat where folks don't realize, maybe, but the track itself is really well done. All right, car's feeling good. I'm gonna just do one more lap here. Overall, not too hard to drive, but I have to think my my issue is probably going to be myself in this one, especially the full race. There's a lot of places to throw the car off. Around the corkscrew, the car just gets very sensitive. You have to be a little bit careful with the weight, moving the weight of the car. It's easy to spin yourself out, at least with the setup I have. All right, things are feeling good. Yeah, Tom, exactly. Most people know about the 88 reconfiguration, and that's the one I knew about, but it wasn't until preparing for this that I realized there was a 96 recreation. All right. So things are feeling all right in the car. So in real life, there was a qualifying session for this race. So we're going to do normal qualifying. There wouldn't be a way to set a grid in IndyCar 2 anyway that I know of. So yeah, we'll do our qualifying session like we normally would. So just change my setup real quick, lower the fuel. I'm going to keep the same setup for the race. A couple more gallons. But we've got a 10-minute qualifying session and hopefully set a good time. We'll take a quick look at the qualifying results so far. Just 10 cars. It's really weird seeing so few cars. And in some of my testing, you kind of get on your own driving. It's pretty close grid as you'd expect, though. These are all the quick guys. So Rick Mears up front right now with Emerson Fittipaldi behind him. So 1:13.4. It's pretty quick. I think I can do that, actually, if I get a good lap in. But Emerson Fittipaldi behind him. Teo Fabi in third. Mario Andretti up there. Where's Michael? Michael's down in seventh so far. Scott Pruitt, Ari Leyendyke, 1:14.2. So I gotta do a pretty good lap here to start up front. You know, it's only 10 cars, so its qualifying is not quite as important as normal, but we'll go out and try my best here. Appreciate everybody joining. Friday, a little bit different time for me, but I have the day off today and figured this was a good way to do it. My plan is to do the full race tomorrow if everything goes to plan. I also want to do the iRacing Lotus 49 tomorrow morning, so there could be a lot of stuff happening if everything goes to plan. I don't know, might have a couple things happen that means I couldn't be here, but if everything goes like I want it to, I'll be doing the full Grand Prix for this tomorrow, probably around the same time. All right. Yeah, I've seen a few folks ask about doing rally in the 66 season. The problem is I don't really know how I would do an offline rally, maybe. Come to the top of the hill. So I just have 10 minutes to try to set a lap and need the low 113s. There's Sim randomly picks, I think, half the grid, although with just 10 cars, I don't know how it'll work, but the Sim picks half the grid to also be qualifying right now, so they'll improve their times as well, potentially. Yeah, I am using a steering wheel. I'm using a Fanatec. I've got a tutorial on how to install IndyCar 2 in the description. No force feedback. That didn't exist for IndyCar 2, but otherwise it works really well. Get down to first gear for the first couple of corners. crazy right-hander there. Just try to get a banker in. Understeer quite a lot there. It'll change the bars. I am on low fuel, so actually need a little bit different setup. Now, there's no mods or anything to add force feedback. It's just not something coded into the sim. Would be kind of cool if it was. The force feedback didn't appear until a few years after this one came out. Force feedback for IndyCar 2 is a bungee cord in your wheel. I do have a bit of force on the wheel generally, so it, you know, gives me some friction trying to move it, so it's not just spinning, but you get used to it. You gotta watch a lot more, though. All right, the 114.2, not so good. I'll throw up the leaderboard. The tire's still getting up to temperature. Should be a bit better this lap. Just a 10th off the rear. Got them set up very competitively here, so there's, I mean, it's kind of random. I've talked about this all season. The AI are random speeds, somewhat. They obviously have ratings, but from race to race, you could finish a race at a track and then restart the same track, and you'd have a different, you know, a different race outcome. And so it's, you never know if you're going to be on pace with some of the quick cars or way behind. Keeps it exciting, though. It's slow coming into the corkscrew. Third gear here. It's almost like a reverse oval corner. You gotta watch that pit wall on the exit. Not speaking from experience or anything. Come across, ooh, 5th. Okay, 113.8. We keep on it. Then a second gear. Going a bit wide there, but carry the speed maybe. Should have time for at least a couple more laps after this. Oh, I totally blew that corner. Okay, this one's probably not going to be so good. I'm going to lower the front bar a bit. Try to get a little more turn in. Was my favorite IndyCar driver growing up? Tough question. Depends when it was. What was that? Oh my god. I think I encountered one of the very rare bugs. I'm gonna have to watch the replay of that, but that might be qualifying over. The car literally exploded at the corkscrew. I've never had that happen here. Wow. I've had that happen at some other tracks before, but that was really odd. Oh man. Gotta love these old sims and their bugs. Let's check out the replay. I mean, I would have to restart the qualifying session, I think, to continue. I guess we can say there was a mechanical failure. Yeah, I went through a black hole. All right, let's watch a couple of these. We come up to the corkscrew. Things are going well. Wow. I'm kind of happy I caught one of these on stream. I think Ted Meat just had one of these issues actually happen. Yeah, Ian, you're here at a strange time. Ted Meat was just doing a race at Surfers Paradise and had one of these happen. Yeah, this is actually not specific to the track. It might be. So IndyCar 2 has some bugs. I'm honestly surprised I haven't hit some earlier in the season. I don't think it's a common bug here. You see the tire go flying too. I've done a good amount of practice, and this is the first time I've hit this. I mentioned it when we did Road America, but I had something similar happen at Road America. There goes the front left tire. I had something similar happen at Road America in testing, and luckily it didn't happen in the race. Watch from the blimp view. Just give it one more. Yeah, hopefully it doesn't happen during the race. I missed it. Wow, I just got teleported. Well, I guess that's the end of the qualifying session. I think if I reset, it would restart the whole qualifying, so I don't want to do that. 5th is not so bad. It could be worse. All right, so this will be how qualifying ends up, and it's Ari Leyendijk up front. Ari Leyendijk up front, ahead of Rick Mears in 2nd place. Emerson Fittipaldi coming in 3rd, Teo Fabi in 4th with the Porsche. So I think those are the 4 drivers that were in my half. Maybe the speed is set a little low. I have been adjusting that to make them quicker. Yeah, inauspicious start to the weekend for sure, Chris. 5th place then, ahead of Mario, Danny Sullivan, Alonso Jr., Michael Andretti all the way back in 9th, and Scott Pruitt at the back. Man, so this will be interesting. I think a few of the quickest guys, I mean, Emerson will be quick, Rick could be quick, but Michael, Alonso Jr., Danny Sullivan, I'm expecting them to be fairly quick too, so they'll be starting behind me. All right, I have to jump away just for a quick second to answer a quick call, but then we'll be back and we'll start the race here and hopefully not encounter any more of those bugs. So I'll be right back. Session. Very weird qualifying, but these things happen sometimes. All right, so back for the race. Yeah, the song's called Switch Me On by Shane Ivers. It's in the description. It's a great song. It's not specific to IndyCar too, but it's a fitting song, I think. All right, so we'll, I guess, jump into this. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. I'm not thinking it will. I think I got kind of lucky, but yeah, we'll see. We'll have to see, I guess. So it'll be 45 laps here. Just check my fuel and everything real quick. Yeah, era appropriate music. So we'll just reload my setup, missing all my tires and everything. All right. So the crew had to roll out the backup car, I guess, for this one. So it'll be 45 laps, starting from 5th position. 1 stop race. Just a quick word on strategy. So we can go how is it? It would take about 60 gallons of fuel to do this full race. So when we pit, we should definitely be able to short fill the car. I'm planning on starting with full fuel though, just to keep my options open. And probably we'll run it till it's dry, come into the pits, take new tires, and 20 gallons of fuel, you know, as we get towards the last third of the race. But we'll see how everything goes. Yeah, it's actually very hot. That's a good thing to point out. I'll have to watch the tires maybe. 94 degrees. Keep the ones I have. High downforce setup. Yep, absolutely. Full downforce on this one. All right, so we'll get started with it. The IndyCar Challenge All-Star Race. Not for points, but definitely for practice. Hopefully can come away with a good one here. And no more dramatic incidents. Finn Frische. That's a German tongue twister, isn't it? Thank you for the support. I think I recognize that as from my German lessons as a tongue twister. Yeah, I'm hoping, you know, having a heavier fuel load at the very start of the race, I think is probably the best option. It's going to be the only time I'll probably encounter traffic during the whole race. We'll be right at this beginning phase, so that'll leave me the most time when I'm running, you know, alone to have, you know, low fuel and new tires and stuff. We'll see though. Interesting to see Ari on the pole. I don't think he's gotten a pole all season. We'll see how he does. Rick Mears next to him. We got Emo right in front of me with Teo Fabi in the Porsche there, the green car to the right. And then next to me, I've got Mario Andretti, so it's not Michael. The 5 is Mario. Balancer Jr. behind us. Going through the corkscrew. I mean, I'm gonna have to hold my breath every lap here as we come through the corkscrew, but I've done a lot of laps around here, and that's the first time that happened, so hopefully we're safe. Am I an IndyCar or F1 fan? I'm an everything fan. Yeah, on low boost just for the out lap here, and we'll raise it up as we come through. Like, very quick here through the end of the lap. All right, get up to full boost, and we'll come around and start the IndyCar Challenge. Hopefully this one goes well. It'd be great to get the win here to build confidence for the final round of the season. Green flag, away we go. All right, up the gears. Got a good launch away from Fabi next to me. Right in behind Emo. Come down to the first corner. Up the inside of Emo. Oh, and Ari slow on the outside there. We'll get him as well. So now slotted into second behind Rick Mears. Get down to second gear. The right-hander there. All right, so good start. And see if I can hold on to the back of Rick here. Sometimes he's really quick. Sometimes he's a laps car and runs me off the track. We'll have to see what happens today. All right, need to keep it on the track. That's the thing I'm most worried about. It's pretty easy to throw the car off the track here. A lot of high commit corners with not a lot of runoff out of first gear. Oh, the rear end got so loose there. It's able to hold on to it though. Got Emo behind me now. I'll have to keep an eye on that too. Just try to settle in a little bit. It's not a sprint race. It's the interesting thing. It's actually a decent race. Come across the line then. So 1.1 seconds off the first lap. Rick seems pretty quick, but not so quick that I'll lose him. I'll just need to get into a little bit of a groove, get the tires up to temp. Try not to scrub them too much. We might actually have to worry about tire temperatures today. Yeah, this track is very narrow. It's pretty tricky. Not quite as narrow as Mid-Ohio was, but I'm bracing for impact at the corkscrew as well. It's always unnerving when something like that happens, but once we do 10 laps, get used to it again. Oh, come through the kink here. Man, I really shot the car in there. Can't do stuff like that. Especially if the tires get a little hot. The car will just lose itself. Might be going a little too slow into the corkscrew. Not that that would help me if that bug happens again. On this corner, the pit wall there, I mentioned it in the qualifying, it's a little bit scary. You can, if you run a bit wide, it's not impossible to hit the end of the pit wall. 43 laps to go, so plenty of time. Lost a little bit to Mears that time, but I didn't have the best lap. Yeah, I know Laguna is a favorite of many. I think it's an awesome track for IndyCar. Happy they raced there again. It was really a shame they didn't race there for so many years. It's definitely a motorcycle circuit, but ooh, this car gets loose there again. Over the rear bar, maybe. It was on the exit. Indy has proven to race pretty well at a lot of motorcycle tracks. You look at Barber as well, which everybody thought. I remember back when IndyCar first went to Barber, what was that, in like 2006 or 7? Everybody thought it was going to be the worst race. Maybe it was a little bit later than that. All right. Across the line, so 42 laps to go. Right out to the cones. Luckily, we can't run over the cones or cause any damage. They are visual only. Falling back to 3 seconds here. I need to try to get into a groove. I feel like I'm running off the track a bit. I can still see Emo right behind me, but Mears is just a little bit quicker than I am right now, especially with the slight mistakes here and there. Through the kink. It's just pretty easy to also lose the car at the corkscrew. Never mind the crazy physics bug. That was probably my best lap. Well, I guess I ran off towards the start of it. It was 1:15 on full-ish fuel, though. I guess we're already down to almost 30 gallons. No need to worry about boost today, though. It's a very easy single stop. Just want to get to about 2/3 distance. That way I can take a half tank. No sign of Andretti behind me either, so it's still Mo. Ari's hanging in to a 4th position. Finally get a decent run through the corkscrew. Will get a little bit easier to drive as the fuel burns off. Like with all the races, I feel like my car comes alive second half of the stint. I guess that's normal. I'm not sure the AI have the same. They definitely do perform differently throughout the stint. They'll go quicker at the end generally, but it doesn't quite work the same as your own car. I think I pulled in Mears ever so slightly last lap. Ran a bit wide there again. Understeer off the track. It's no good. Luckily, the dirt feels a bit more grippy than the grass has been at some of the races, so it's not a huge penalty to run a little wide. Got a little loose. It's actually very dangerous to correct some of these slides because you will potentially grip up suddenly and go sliding straight to the wall. Posted a little clip on my Twitter recently of I was just running around Indianapolis to have some fun, and had one of those tank slappers where you correct it, and on the very first correction, the car actually grips up while you've got the wheel pointed to the right. Yeah, Mears is really living up to his nickname today as Rocket. It's all right. It's still some racing to go. There are a lot of mechanical things that could happen. You know, lap traffic obviously is not going to be an issue during this race, which is kind of unfortunate because that's one of the main things that is important to practice. Yeah, the AI can crash. They can, so that's always a possibility as well. Right down to first gear. So making it through the corkscrew all right. Emerson just hanging on to me from behind, so he's not going to let me slow down at all. 7 seconds off now. Man, Rick's really pulling out on all of us. Still no change in the order behind me either. This is a little bit how this race went in real life. There wasn't a lot of drama. Again, put 10 cars on a road course. Not very many cars to have a, you know, exciting race potentially. Need to work on my own lap times is really the thing to concentrate on. As long as I do the best laps I can, then whatever happens during the race will happen. And I just saw a certain Andretti pop in as the car just got so loose there. Did I blow a tire? I might actually have really hot tires or something. That was so odd. Whoa, almost blow the engine there too. Everything's falling apart here. Trying to see the hold on. Get onto the front straightaway first. I don't know what happened at the top of the hill, but I just had no grip in the rears suddenly. I bet I'm overheating them. So the strategy might have to change. The temps aren't so bad. I mean, they're a bit high on the rears, and I guess I'm on the straightaway then. So let's watch them as we go the lap. If they start turning yellow and red specifically, then we're in for a difficult time. But yeah, Emo got around me there, which is not what I wanted, obviously. Car just got so loose at the top of the hill. I'm already full soft on the rear, so there's not a lot I can do from the cockpit right now to adjust for that. Just try to keep my head in it. Still a lot of racing to go. Yeah, tires are not overheating, I don't believe. That's just a driving thing. Let's see if it happens this time too. Fine that time through there. But yeah, Michael Andretti's up to 5th. Emo's around me into 2nd. I'm back to 3rd now. I think I can get back to Emo, so I'll try to do that. Michael maybe just taking his time getting around the cars nice and easily, work his way to me. Yeah, I think the temps are good, Taka. I'd agree. So I'm not sure why the car got so loose there, but I had 0 rear end grip suddenly. Yeah, the funny thing, it is a 3-point tire model, which is very cool. Ooh, right up to the edge of the circuit. At least in temperatures. I actually don't know 100% the inner workings, but you can recognize, I mean, this is absolutely, it's a more simplistic simulation, but it's still in the same vein as modern simulators are. There's no weird physics trickery happening except for that one crash we had, but generally when the sim's working as it's supposed to, it's quite on par with modern sims. Just a much more rudimentary, especially in the graphics. I think if it had force feedback, a lot of folks would actually find that it's quite similar, maybe simplistic, but similar to a modern sim. It's really quite amazing what Papyrus was doing in 1995. Nothing really feels like a compromise so much. I mean, there's no third dimension of physics, so cars cannot get off the ground, which is obviously a huge, opens up a lot of possibilities for physics glitches or abuse, but I think it's very capable. Alright, so the car feels fine. I don't know why I had that one oversteer moment. Yeah, rear wing, front wing are all maxed out. I've got max downforce on the whole car. Very far off mirrors to monitor the gap to MO here. .6 seconds off that lap. See what it is next time around. About half tank of fuel now, or getting close to it, so this is kind of when the car, at least this is when you want to kind of set the car up for a race setup, is around half tank. Kink there. Always feel like you can go a little bit quicker. So Michael slid up to 5th, but he's not, I don't think he's really catching so much. We might actually be gaining on him. So this one might just get strung out, and we'll see if there's any mechanical. Rick Mears is in the pits. It's a little early for a pit stop, I think. That's actually very early for a pit stop. He's in there for quite a while, too. Oh, he's out! Rick Mears is out of the race. Just like that, things come back alive. 3.7 seconds off the leader, so I lost a 10th to Emerson, but Emerson is much closer to my speed than Rick was. We'll have to see what the failure reason is after the race, but Rick just, I guess, was trying to win by a mile. That really opens things up now. Back alive in the race, that's why you never give up. I feel like Rick's had a pretty unreliable season, actually. I don't know how many DNFs he would have had, but right out to the edge, that's a little bit too much. Yeah, I could have just blown his engine. We should see a more detailed reason for failure in the final results. If he gets a brake, so he got a brake failure in real life, so if he has one in the sim as well, it'll be the most accurate simulation. You can't, unlike the Cramond sims where you can actually write like what happens during the race to emulate real races, IndyCar 2, there's no, you can't make a failure happen. It's all by chance. Fell off quite a bit from Emerson that time. Just don't feel like I have the maximum top speed. I'm not driving super well either, I don't think. Driving all right, but just here and there, missing an apex, driving a bit wide. It's definitely not a clean drive so far. Of course, that big moment up at the corkscrew. So we're just about half fuel. I think lines up with the pit strategy that I'm hoping for. See, that felt like a decent lap that time. I think I missed maybe one corner. Still lost 2/10 though. 31 laps to go. So we're actually, well, we're right about on track for fuel. Might have to take like 22 gallons or something just to be safe, but should be good. Oh, it looks like Michael's actually catching up to me. I just noticed that. So Michael up to 4th now, which is not boding well. He started right at the back. Car is behaving. Still a bit frightened about the corkscrew for multiple reasons. Oh, right out to the edge of the track. No! Oh, that was a hard hit too. Come on. Get up and running. I just hit the edge of the dirt there coming into it and lost the rear end. I think the car might actually be okay despite hitting the wall a bit. Just continue on. That's no good. So first big incident. I think I got away with it though. I just hit the dirt with the right rear coming down from the corkscrew, but that's going to lose me a ton of time off Fittipaldi. And I now have 6 seconds to Michael Andretti behind. I could just see Lyondike there in the mirror. No, I don't need to pit. I think that pitting would make things worse. If I had damage, pitting would be good. I didn't get damage from that. It's a decent hit too, so surprised. But I don't have damage, and if I pit now, I'm gonna have to run on heavy fuel again, which will just make the bad situation worse. Well, thank you, Gavin. I don't know if the driving so far today warrants the super chat, but I very much appreciate it. So I think probably what happened is Andretti got held up off the start and from starting so far back, and so it's just taken him this long to catch up. Might have had enough of a gap to hold him for the rest of the race, but I threw that all away. Yeah, but at least it's all happening during an event that ultimately doesn't count. Learn all the little things for the big race. I have to imagine that's what the real drivers were thinking, especially the ones that were at the lower end of the field. You know, that knew they probably wouldn't win against the other top teams anyway. Right. We'll see how the gap changes. Andretti's obviously got to get around Lyondike, so I might have a little bit of a crutch there. But during the pit stop cycles, things will go kind of weird. I think tires are doing all right. It's fuel. The wrong info screens. Go. Yeah, no overheating. Tire temperatures are actually really good. So get down to first gear there by accident. It's a lot to do while driving, being your own crew chief. I think I've actually held the pace with Emerson. And he's had quite a few failures this season as well, so keep going, keep pushing at it. Stay nice and away from the outside edge there. When you got a lot of lateral load in the car, you can't go on the dirt. And you should never go on it, but really missed the braking zone for the final corner. Trying to push a little bit. I don't want to overdo it. Lost a second that lap, though. Man. And now only 9 cars on the course, so we might actually pass the rear end of the field, but that's not going to create the same type of traffic issues that we normally see in the races. Whoa, right out to the edge. Kept my foot in it, though. Little rear bar. We gotta play with the tools a little bit more, get the car easier to drive. It's understeering a bit. Much nicer through the final corner there. Made change on both ends of the car, so I lowered the rear bar a bit, which will help the turn in, and I raised the front bar. Lowered the front bar, which helps the turn in, and then I raised the rear, which helps you kind of the second half of the corner. Getting down lower in fuel, though. To the kink. Oh, I didn't take that as aggressively as I should have. All right. Car will get really, really dodgy on low fuel. Pretty easy to mess up some of the corners or overcorrect. Not great through the corkscrew either. My adjustments helped, though. The car's a bit better now. See what kind of lap times I'm doing here. All right, that was a half, that was about as good as my qualifying lap, actually. Although I think I could have gone quicker there. We'll hit the cones just a little bit. Still lost time, though. So Emma was just very quick today. We'll slide the car coming in. What is that, turn 5? We just caught it before it slipped out onto the dirt. Just trying to keep the car as straight as possible over the top with a corkscrew. Come down to the final 10 gallons of fuel. I have to figure out exactly how much I'm doing a lap and how long I can go till I'm in. Little mess up in that corner, but yeah, I think Emo, for some reason, he was behind me the whole start of the race. Not such a difficult task to keep him behind, and once he got around, he's just gone as well. He's kind of doing the same thing Mears did. So I've been pulling away steadily from Lyondike and Andretti behind, so I don't want to say that they're out of the picture just yet, but I might be destined for second place in this race, just no matter what happens. I'm lucky. I am actually lucky that incident didn't break the car, because although I have it on lower damage, you can absolutely break the car, as was proven at both Road America and Toronto. Yeah, with a race with no real strategy and it's just one pit stop, it's gonna be really hard to do anything to overcome a gap like 20 seconds, unless I was quicker. Keep in it though, you never say it's over till it is. It's been good practice so far too. I think definitely need to play with the bars more. I've learned that so far. And always a bit of driving practice never helps. Stay away from the sandy edges of the track coming out of the corkscrew. That corner is so awesome on this version of the circuit. Nice cambered, fast corner. It's a pretty good lap, 1:13.2. I tried to look for the broadcast of this race, and unfortunately couldn't find it anywhere, and it's a little upsetting because at the start of the 89 full Laguna Seca race, the points race, they actually say, I think the clip I found anyway at the start says something about that was the Marlboro Challenge race, now here's the Laguna Seca Grand Prix. So I guess they aired it right before the full race, but it unfortunately doesn't seem to exist online for 89. It does for a few other years. It can be kind of fun to watch, but like I said, it wasn't the most exciting event. There was a lot of criticism in the news about it too. Or in the press, I guess you'd say. I think the couple of years they did it at Nazareth was probably the best. 21 seconds off now. Man, Emma's just really quick because I'm doing okay laps now, and he's just on a mission today. The former Formula One world champion. Run a bit wide there. Do the fast sweeper. Alright, so I'm getting down on fuel. I got 6 gallons. And I think I'll need... Well, take a look at what lap it is when we come by this time. But I think to do about 15 laps, I need 40 or 20 gallons to do 15 laps or so. Take a look at the pit board. So 20 laps to go. I don't know if I'll make it another 5 laps, so might do something like fill with 25 gallons. Just to make sure we've got enough. Would hate to run out of fuel at a race like this, and an extra 5 gallons isn't going to take that much longer. Feels pretty good right now, though. It's just, unfortunately, I'm a little slow. There goes the fuel light. I'll rant about it as always. Just hate the fuel light. I can't see my shift lights anymore. So I guess we're just past halfway in this one. I missed that. It's gonna be a really quick race, but slid the car a little bit there. All right, there's my fuel. Got to change that. So I'd probably put in like 26 gallons, I think would be safe. And won't pit this time, but maybe next time by. The number here is how many gallons you want them to fill it to. So it's not how much to add in addition. Whoop, I hit something. I hit the clouds. No more clouds in the race today. I'll fix that when we pit. Suddenly clear skies. I guess it fits Laguna Seca. I think I hit the horizon detail off. My tires too. The Goodyear's gone. Come out of the final corner. So yeah, probably need to pit next time by. Probably just pause. I'll take a little bit of a cheat and pause coming into the pit lane so that I can set everything up. In real life, you'd be able to talk to the crew or signal to them anyway, so I'll take a little bit of realism out. It's a one thing about the rig. I got to figure out a better keyboard situation. Otherwise, the rig has been awesome. Whoa, right against the edge of the track there. All right. Got the car slowed down though. I'll turn the sky back on. I hit a button, Pavel. All right, we'll come down and come into the pits. All right, so I had 2 gallons, but it'd be close to make it another lap. So we'll come into the pits and hold on. I'll fix the graphics real quick. I guess we'll enter the game and pause it. All right, let me just fix the graphics again real quick. Remember, there it is. I guess I hit the tires too. There we go. All right, and so we'll actually change the fuel to, I think I'll take 26 gallons. And that should be enough, I think, to make it. Oh, I'm down on boost too. Has it been like that for, I don't know if anybody in the chat said that, but I'm on 8. Could that be the reason? That would be such a rookie mistake. All right, we'll come into the pits though. Try not to hit the pit wall on the way in, my God. There's Rick Mears sitting in the pits, coming to the pit stall. All right, so they're only going to fill it a little bit. I can see Andretti line dyke going by. Jason's seen it on 8. Nobody told me. That's my bad. I've done that a couple times this season, unfortunately. You can just hit it on the wheel. I'm sure that wouldn't be impossible to do in real life either. But quick pit stops and new tires, a little bit more fuel. Should have just enough to finish the race, I hope. I didn't short pit. Or else we will have to reduce the boost. Saw one other car in the pits there. I think that was Michael. So line dyke is ahead of me, but he's going to have to pit. So will Emerson. Yeah, I mean, from 8 to 9 would be a little less power, but maybe like a couple tenths a lap at the most. There's Emo in the pits then. Let's hope his crew has a bit of a comedic pit stop or something. Car's going to be very quick here. I'm on new tires now with pretty low fuel. So Emo actually got back out into the lead from hitting in the lead, which is always exciting. Come to the line, so we'll see what the gap is. Looks like line dyke's in the pits this time. We'll pass him pretty easily. 22 seconds off, so I think I lost maybe a second through the pit stop cycle. We'll see what the lap times look like. Sometimes there's been weird things at the end of some of the races where the opponents maybe have to nurse an issue or something and their speed dramatically changes, so we'll see what things look like. But if he's still the same speed or pulling away, may turn into just making sure I bring the car home in second and not run out of fuel. I think we'll be okay though. Car's a bit wide there coming up to the corkscrew. Bars the same from when I pit, or when I came into the pits. I think I might need to readjust how they start on a full tank. Oh, I pulled them into 17 seconds. Don't give me hope here. We'll see if he gets his tires up to temp and that settles, but if I pull him in at that type of rate, we'll definitely catch him before the end. To the edge of the track, understeered a bit there. So hard to be precise with the steering the way it is. It's not as easy as a modern sim to hit the same points lap after lap. It's just not quite that precise. Not that I've ever claimed to be one to do that. Walk down to first gear there. Still a bit squirrely. The corkscrew is definitely a difficult corner. Got on the gas a bit sooner there though than normal. That might actually be a little bit of an advantage. All right, come out of the final corner. Let's see what the gap is this lap. 15. Oh man, he's gonna do this to me where he gets my hopes up. We'll just keep pushing though. Maybe trying to make it exciting for TV. Nice and smooth here. Yeah, I guess he could be in traffic, but there's not a lot of traffic, so that's would surprise me that he can't just get around a car pretty easily. Across the top of the corkscrew here. Bit wide there on the descent. It's nice and smooth. You can really get into a good flow around this track, especially in other sims. But oh, I can see one car up there, and that doesn't look like Emerson. So maybe he was stuck in some traffic. Yeah, I actually lost 3/10 to him that lap. So it looks like there was one lapped car. Let's see who that is. It looks like it's not Lion Dyke because he's behind me. Who could it be? A dark colored car, which Lion Dyke's one of the only ones in the race. It's probably Allenser Jr. actually, the real winner. Gotta go a lap down. See as we get a bit closer. Well, you never know, there could be more lapped cars, so I guess we have to cross fingers for that. Yeah, you can actually get on the throttle quite a lot earlier. Almost did the same thing again there. You can get on the throttle a lot earlier in the corkscrew than I have been, so that's a good thing to have learned in this race. I guess because the sim doesn't really model vertical movement correctly. A few cars up there. I think one of them might be Sullivan. Exact same gap this time by to Emerson. Whoa, rear end almost stepped out on me there. Getting towards the end of this one. Yeah, so it is Allenser Jr. in front of me. Oh, Leyendijk's pitting? Is that his first pit stop? No, he already pit, so he might have an issue, actually. So Michael Andretti's actually the car behind me, but he's about 15 seconds back. Put Scott Pruitt from the rear of the grid. I think he started dead last, up to 5th. See a couple of cars up here. I think one of them's Danny Sullivan. A little loose there. Just nicked the wall onto the front straightaway. 11 laps to go. It says I've got 11 laps of fuel left. Let's hope it's accurate this time. Oh, slide it down into turn 1, right up the inside of Junior. I lost like a second to Emo that last lap. Man's just on another planet today. Right out to that curb. Use all that curb up on the exit. Luckily, it has a bit of camber to it. Like all good curbs. It's gonna be my luck that on the final lap of the race or something we'll hit that bug again. I hope not. I've done a lot of laps around here and never hit that, so I think it's quite rare, knock on wood. Alright, so we've got Mario up in front of Danny Sullivan here. We'll come to get 10 to go. Should be good on fuel, although it will be pretty low coming to the flannel couple laps. I'm gonna get held up here behind Sullivan a bit. They're not super slow. I mean, I guess that's to be expected. All of us are top 10 finishers. Oh, come on, Danny. Chops me off coming up the hill. This will be good practice, I guess, to try to get around some slower cars with a big race. There we go. Up the inside, coming up to the corkscrew. It's kind of scary. Close in now on Mario. So I guess I have to hope. I mean, if things finish like this in the big race, then I think I'd get the championship because I'd stay ahead of Michael. So really, it's just going to be about beating Michael, and I hope he has a day like he's having right now. Get around Mario there, 18 seconds off the lead. So unless Emo has some kind of issue, I don't think it's going to happen. Miss out on I don't even know how much money they won in real life for this one. Yeah, it might have been $1 million. I don't know if it was $1 million to just the winner, or if that was the entire purse, though. It sounds like a lot of money for 1987, 88, 89. Might have been $1 million as the whole purse. But who knows? They were dumping tons of money into the sport back then, which is kind of why it got as big as it did. I know we like to think it was just the racing, but you got to get that racing in front of people. Oh, it closed up a couple tenths. 8 laps to go, right on the number for fuel. Might actually need to turn it down slightly. I don't know. We'll see. Got a 10-second gap to Michael behind, but he's going to have to get through the lapped cars. against that inside curb. Seems like that doesn't really upset the car, surprisingly. So 7 laps to go. And it's been an alright race. I think my driving was not great for the first half of the first stint there. And I don't think that would have made much of a difference, if I'm honest, though. Not spinning, though. Actually, it could have made a big difference, because Emma would have still been behind me. But that might have been the big issue with the race. Could have potentially won this one. I think I might have thrown it away. Would Emo have gotten his rocket fuel had he not gotten around me that easily? We'll never know. Rocket down the hill here, though. When you get this track right, it's a really fun track to drive. It can be really frustrating, though, learning how to drive it, especially in IndyCar 2 on this narrow version of it. Scott Pruitt in 5th is a lap down. Well, gained a little bit over a second that lap. I have to hope that maybe Emil gets stuck behind like Teo Fabi. Who knows? The Porsche try. Nope. As I say that, he goes a lap down. All right. That plot is over. All right, so it looks like it might just be 3 cars that finish on the lead lap, and at least, knock on wood, again, a lot of wood knocking going on. I'll be one of those. Yeah, Ethan, it's not the most exciting all-star race. I was saying that a little bit at the beginning. It was one of the main criticisms of this race. I think throwing 10 cars, even if they are the best drivers on a road course for 45 laps, is not always going to come out with the most exciting race. So I was expecting much of the same today, and it's had its moments, but it's not going to be one for the highlight reel, I don't think. Pulled in a bit more on him that lap, so we'll just keep sticking at it, plug away at these final laps. If I do the 90 season, I think in 90 it was also at Laguna Seca, but they went to Nazareth for a couple of years with it, which would be a more fun race, I think. Yeah, I don't know. The car doesn't feel perfect. I'm under driving it a little bit at this point, just to keep it on the track. Raise the front bar just a scotch to get the turn-in to be a little more predictable. Gotcha, 90 and 92. We're at Nazareth. All right, 4 laps to go. Looks like we'll be, I think, about 1 gallon to the good on fuel, which is all we need. So perfect fuel strategy. I'm glad I took as much as I did. That's good to know for the race as well. You know, 45 laps takes about, well, we'll see here, but it might be about 46 gallons, so about 1 gallon a lap. I haven't decided if I want to do the 90 season right away or do something else. We'll see. It only took me like over a year to do this this one. I hope it's been enjoyable. It's a lot of fun. I feel like it highlights kind of the best parts about IndyCar 2, running a championship and, you know, dealing with the results each race. It's a pretty believable championship so far, I would say. Come through the kink. Threw it into the corner there. It was a bit hard, but made it. Luckily, it's stuck. High downforces, definitely needed around this track. Slows you down very slightly on the front straightaway, but otherwise, I just don't think it would be worth it to lower the wings much. I'm really not that much slower than Emo, so it was all about that accident I had. Even if he's slightly quicker, I was ahead of him, so he would have had to pass me, which I could make that hard on him. Cars held together as well. In some of my testing, I did get a part failure, I think. I don't remember what it was, some hydraulic failure, which has not happened all season. We'll come up to the top of the hill though, just one more lap after this. Work our way down the hill here. The final corner. See one car up the road. It looks like it might actually be Scott Pruitt up there. It's the 5th place car. We'll do this final lap. So 20 seconds off. I got a 17-second lead off Andretti. So if things go this way in the big race, it wouldn't be the triumphant season finale, winning everything, but it would get the job done. My worry is that Andretti will be one of those quick cars like Mears or like Fittipaldi is today. So I might have to do a little setup work tonight, see if I can improve the car a little bit, but I think I've caught on to driving the track, which is good. So this, all in all, was a good experience type race. We'll come through the corkscrew, thank God, no exploding car issue there. We'll head down the hill. Final time through the fun sweeper, right down to the white line. Dodge the pit wall, come into the final corner a bit deep on the brakes, miss the apex, classic final corner of the final lap, and come across the line. So second place in the IndyCar Challenge for 89. Could have been a better race, but not the worst one either. All right, this track is definitely tiring. I have to look at how many laps the full race is, but I want to say it's double that, so that'll be a pretty long race. Oh Lord, nice drive. I'll do a rewind later. Didn't see what happened to Mears. I won't spoil it, but we're gonna take a look at the final results, so we'll see what happened to him. But I appreciate that very much. Not the best driving today, but hopefully entertaining nonetheless. Good experience on the track though. And again, I have to thank some of the slower drivers that did this race. Everybody wanted to win to get the big money, but definitely would look at it from an experience gainer. finished ahead of Michael, and that's what's important. So yeah, I don't know what second place would have paid, but we'll have to maybe have to see. Here comes Michael up behind me. Might need to get the thumbnail image for the race tomorrow. Come on, Michael. Or is he just gonna stay behind me? Yeah, picking up a little rubber. Just doing the cool down. I like doing the cool down lap after the race. You can get him to look like he's making a pass on me. Maybe that'll be my thumbnail for the race tomorrow. We'll see. Come through the corkscrew. All right. So let's see here. We'll jump out. We'll take a look at the results and all that. Here's my car crossing the finish line. Get some music going. Not to blow everybody's ears out. I appreciate folks watching. I didn't even realize I had a couple hundred folks in here, so I hope it was a fun little race. Nothing too crazy, but the IndyCar Challenge at Laguna Seca. Coming across the finish second. So we will look at the final results for this one. Short little list of results, but Emerson Fittipaldi gets the win. Gets the win there. See if 1 second, I can check the real results. I don't know if, yeah, I don't have any winnings on the version I have. Let me check one other thing. See if I can find how much the winner won for this race in real life. $19.89. Wow. Yeah, so it wasn't $1 million to the winner, but $252,000 to the winner for this. Yeah, I have $252,000 is what Axelson Jr. won in real life for first. So second position pays $171,000. So not a bad payday. Not a bad payday at all. $100,000 for third place. So Michael Andretti gets the $100,000. Teo Fabi was 75. He actually finished in fourth in real life. So same exact result there. Scott Pruitt's going to come away with 61,000. Mario Andretti here with 50. We've got Danny Sullivan coming away with 40,000. Emerson Fittipaldi in real life finished 8th. We got Axelson Jr. in our race with a 33K. Ari Leyendyke with the suspension failure. Interesting. Maybe hitting those curbs a little bit too hard. And then last place, Rick Mears with a turbo failure, $20,000. So, fun little race, fun little practice race. Let's take a look quickly. I believe the full race, obviously a lot more laps. 84 laps the real race will be, so not quite double, thankfully, but a good bit longer with, of course, a full field of cars. I think we should be running pretty much the whole grid, 28 cars or so. So it'll be a packed race, a lot of lap traffic, which will not be easy to get around. I would expect a couple trips into the dirt at some point, but we'll try to avoid it. It's a hot day though at Laguna Seca. It's still about an hour long, so the full race will be near 2 hours. Just 2 lead changes there. All right, so that is the challenge race complete. And all we have left now, there's nothing left now but to do the full race. So my plan is to hopefully do it tomorrow, unless anything comes up. I also am thinking about doing the iRacing race tomorrow morning, so we'll have to see how it all works out. But either way, I'll be back very soon with some more. I appreciate everybody watching today, and hopefully it was a fun race to watch. Definitely good practice for me. I'm looking forward to a little bit more of the same and hopefully come out on the good side of things when the championship all works itself out. But until then, I'll see you all next time. Thank you.